Hey everyone, Chip Kosei here with the Kosei Law Firm, and welcome to another edition of the NOLA Brain Injury Support and Resource official Facebook page video. Today I want to talk about the word prognosis. Now, I don't know if it's a literal definition, but it's my definition. Prognosis is the ability to predict the outcome of something. So, when dealing with a traumatic brain injury, what factors will assist you in determining the prognosis? Well, there's several, and the first of which is age. As you may or may not know about the old saying, little people bounce and old people break. Well, the younger a person is, the more elastic their brain is, and the more recuperative powers their brain has. And while there are exceptions to this, depending on the severity of the trauma, generally age is a big factor in determining the prognosis because the older you are, the less favorable the prognosis. The second factor is a history of any previous traumatic brain injuries or insult to the brain. And so it would be important to look at things like, their athletic records, football records. Did they ever have concussions? If so, was it treated? How did it turn out? Things like that. Thirdly would be what their premorbid. Now, premorbid means prior to this traumatic event. So whatever their premorbid intellectual status or capabilities were, in this sense, it's a good idea to look at things like previous school records. Were they a good student or were they a poor student? Did they graduate from high school or college or graduate school or not? Then you want to look at a previous history of chemical abuse. If the person was an addict for some reason, obviously the prognosis is more poor. Then, in terms of any sort of psychological records, it would be a good idea to secure these to determine whether there's any premorbid, again, meaning before this incident, there was any premorbid evidence of psychological disorders, things like PTSD or depression or anxiety, things like that, so that can be factored in. The next factor would be any sort of premorbid history of cognitive dysfunction. Now here, this would be school records again, but it would be less focused on things like grades and accomplishments and more on things like, did they have any special needs? Were they a special needs child? Did they have dyslexia? Did they have any sort of learning difficulties that may weigh in on this? So, and then it's important to get all of these previous records, and it's important to share those with the treating physician so that the prognosis is as most accurately predictable as possible, and thereby you can assist your loved one to the greatest extent possible. I sure hope this information helps, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.